Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we've got an epic alternative scenario from the Marvel Universe. How will the Avengers deal with the Infinity Stones? This time, Tony Stark and the team are facing a big surprise. Bill Gates steps in to save the universe. So, how powerful can technology be in saving the world? All of this is in today's video. Let's get started. Half of the universe had vanished, and the world was plunged into a deep silence. The Avengers' headquarters felt abandoned. Tony Stark sat at the desk, his eyes fixated on a point on the screen. Steve Rogers, in a corner, took a deep breath and asked, "What are we going to do?" No one had an answer. There was an eerie silence filled with despair and fear. Tony was quickly scanning the data on his computer, but no solution was forming in his mind. "We have to do something, but what?" he sighed deeply. He rapidly switched through the icons on the screen, but everything was still a mess. Suddenly, something strange happened on the computer screen. Code started streaming rapidly. Tony squinted. The signature. It looked familiar. "What's happening?" he muttered. At that moment, the door suddenly opened and Bill Gates walked in. Tall, dressed in a suit, Gates calmly stepped into the room. The Avengers team exchanged stunned glances as they saw him. Everyone's face wore the same question. "What's he doing here?" Gates nodded slightly and said, "You've forgotten the power of technology," his voice calm but firm. "But maybe it's time to give it another chance." Tony, still not looking away from the screen, asked in disbelief, "What exactly are you planning to do?" Gates pulled out a tablet and projected a holographic image on the screen. Frequency analysis of the Infinity Stones and the energy waves they emitted appeared on the screen. "If the stones write the fundamental code of the universe, we can rewrite them," he said. "If we find the right algorithm, we can manipulate the stones' function." Thor, a bit confused, asked, "You're suggesting we hack the stones?" Gates nodded slightly. "Yes, exactly," he replied. The Avengers stood in silence, looking at each other, considering the idea. No one expected it to go this far, but maybe the solution was right here. Tony, still not taking his eyes off the screen, said with a smile, "Let's do it then." Vibranium brought from Wakanda, Stark's advanced technology, and Gates' software knowledge came together. After hours of work, a device was developed that could replicate the energy distribution of the stones. This device could limit the stones' power and neutralize their effect. But everything was moving fast. Tony analyzed the code on the screen and continued typing commands into his computer. "Just a little more," he said. "We need a bit more code." Gates, stepping closer, said, "Everything's ready. The code is ready. Now we just need to establish the connection." Suddenly, a terrifying vibration began to shake the building. The sky grew dark and the atmospheric changes were rapid. The team quickly took defensive positions as they felt the tremors. "Thanos!" Steve Rogers shouted. "Get in position." Thor threw his hammer toward the sky, saying, "He's coming back. This time, Thanos will meet his end." Hulk, angrier than ever, roared, "This time we'll stop him." But just then, a massive ship began descending from the sky. Thanos' ship was about to plunge the world into darkness. The team quickly devised a strategy. Iron Man and Captain Marvel swiftly moved through the sky toward the ship, while Thor intensified his lightning strikes. Hulk stomped the ground and let out a mighty roar. But when Thanos stepped out of the ship, he looked at them with mocking amusement. "You won't stop me," he laughed. "All your plans will fail." The Avengers began to fight, but Thanos' powerful armor deflected every attack. The battle was growing increasingly hopeless. However, Bill Gates returned to the room and focused on his computer. "Just a little more," he said. "There are some errors in the code. But now we've done it." Stark, looking at Gates from the laboratory screens, said, "We don't have time. It's over." Connection established, Gates replied, lifting his head. This time we can change the world. As the battle outside intensified, Gates entered the final command. The power of the Infinity Stones began to fade. Thanos squinted and looked at his hands. The gauntlet was now empty. The stones were disappearing. Impossible, he said, taking a step back. The Avengers paused and looked at each other in silence. They didn't fully understand what had just happened, but something had changed. Thanos' power was gone. His entire plan had crumbled. Tony stepped forward toward Thanos and said, "This time, we'll defeat you using technology. The Infinity Stones are now under our control." Gates, never taking his eyes off his computer screen, added, "The code can change the world. In the right hands, anything is possible." And in that moment, a burst of light was felt around the world. The Avengers had won. We just saw how Bill Gates' technological intervention allowed the Avengers to hack the Infinity Stones and claim victory. But do you think that, in reality, Bill Gates could truly defeat Thanos with this solution? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more videos like this. See you in the next video. Goodbye.